Hey guys, TotalGamer95, and I'm going to be following up on my tutorial using Visual Basic. This is Visual Basic 2008 Express Edition. So, if you watched my last one, we had, here's our little program, sorry, and if you haven't, all we did was we created a couple buttons and a picture box and very basic code. Now, we're going to move on to something a little harder, a little bit more, a little bit harder to use, whatever. There's a couple of things you can do here. There is, in these common controls, there's a lot you can play with. Right now we're just going to use a label box. So, we're going to drag out the label box, and there it is. So, we're going to click on that, and then we're going to go down to here as name, and my short form for label box is LBL. So we're going to name it LBL Hello. Alright, now the text should be hello, welcome to the program. I'm going to put a period in there. Alright. Now, for visible, I'm going to put it as false. Alright, that's for that. So we're going to put it as false under visible. Sorry, I have to go back to the label box. We're going to go false. So that means you can't see it right off the bat, and we're going to make it visible when you click the hello button. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to say me.lbl hello dot visible equals true. Alright, so now when we run the program, as you can see, it's just a hello button. Then we click the hello button and it says hello, welcome to my first program, shows the picture, and if we look by, it exits it. So now that we've done that, we can do a lot of stuff in here. And so let's just use, let's say, a radio button instead of the hello, and sorry, a radio button showing. Actually, no, that's wrong. That's wrong. We're gonna go into something a little bit more advanced, sort of. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna use a menu strip. Now, a menu strip, you just drag it along the top here. Okay. We're gonna have to move this button down. Yeah, I'm not looking at that. Okay. I'm just gonna delete that. Here, I'm gonna move this down to the bottom so that I have enough room to put in that. There we go. Okay. So now we're gonna put in the menu strip. Okay. So right here, you can write whatever you want. Let's just say file. So it looks like a real program. So now when you click this file, it's just gonna show up. Alright, so let's say we want clothes to be in there. So we go like that. Actually, let's edit that. We want the text to not say close, but actually say exit. Alright. Now let's say we want over here, we want view. Okay. So right in here, we can type picture, enter, and we can click over on this side here, and we can actually make it so it's sort of a folder. So here we're gonna say visible, click down, not visible, and there you go. Now we're gonna go into buttons. Go over here, visible, and then not visible. Enter. So now what we have is when we click File, there's an exit, and we click View, we can make these picture buttons disappear. Well, actually, that's not true. But we're going to put code in so that that'll happen. So now when we run it, we have this, right? Same thing. But now when we click these, nothing happens. As you can see, they look sort of folders. But nothing is actually going to happen. So what we're going to do is same thing. We're going to double click on it, and that'll open up our our code. And we're going to say ME. So when I'm clicked, it's ME close. There you go. So now when this exit button is hit, it'll close. Now we're going to go picture and then visible. So we're going to say ME when I'm clicked, pic hello dot visible equals true. Enter. Okay, so now when you hit this, it'll make it visible. Now not visible. We're going to say ME dot pic hello, which is whatever you named it. It doesn't have to be pic hello. It's just whatever you named the actual picture box equals false. Now we have something that's gonna make the picture box disappear. So now we have buttons visible. So for this one, not only are we gonna do the buttons, not only are we doing the visibility of the buttons, but we're also gonna disable them, because if we do not disable them, then people will still be able to click them. So what we're going to do is we're going to first do the ME commands with the visible equals true. Sorry, am I on? What am I on right now? Visible? I think so, right? Yeah, okay, I am on visible. So then equals true. Okay, so then you want that to just be true. You want it all to be true, and then you want to say me.btn, whatever it is, hello for me dot enabled equals true, and that'll make sure that the button is enabled. If you don't put that in, and you say enabled false on the other button we're gonna do, then what's gonna happen is it's gonna be visible, but it's just gonna stay disabled. So now we have our buttons visible, and now we're gonna do not visible. It's basically the same thing, so you can just copy these lines here of code from wherever they were. It's from that button we just did. And instead of true, we're gonna say false in every single one. Okay. Alright. So, now we have a little toolbar with an exit, and it'll make our pictures and buttons disappear. There's also something called, actually no, I'll get into that later. But here, let's run it first. And so now we can go view. Here, sorry, first I'm going to click hello, so that'll all pop up. Picture, buttons, not visible. And as you can see, they actually disappeared. They are disabled. So now we want to make them visible again. We're going to go visible. There you go. Alright. Now, so let's say we want to make the picture not visible. We're going to go not visible. Now the picture is not visible, even though we have clicked the hello button. You can also go back to visible. And there you go, that's just a basic one. And then we can also go File, Exit. And that exits the program. So now that's just a little basic more. It's going into a little bit more complicated. Now there's also stuff called there's also buttons that are called radio buttons and checkboxes. Now what these do is it's basically the same thing as a button. I thought it'd be really complicated, but it isn't. So what it is basically your button, except it is